the last piece of news we wanted to talk about, well, not even news, but we wanted to review episode 3 of Agatha and maybe talk a little bit about episode 1 and 2, since we didn't fully talk about that last week.
Yes.
But yeah, I am very surprisingly liking this show.
I gotta say, just episode 3, fucking incredible.
It was really good. Yeah, I mean, and the little crumbs they're giving you about the mystery along the way has been really exciting. And like I was shocked that like they just dropped Mephisto's name out of nowhere.
Boom.
I was like,
nerdiest thing I've done in months. Or maybe a year. It's the nerdiest thing I've done all year. Just
you like get up from your couch, you're like, oh, it's Mephisto.
What? I was watching the episode and I was like, I was enthralled. I was like, this is great. I was like, what is going on? This is I love this. And then, some say, he was traded to work for Mephisto, and I go,
yeah.
And I immediately just this deep inhale and rise up from where I was sitting, and I was like,
yeah, the fact that there's
this means
there's like that they confirmed there's Mephisto and that there's also been agents of Mephisto is like, whoa, that's insane that you're just like dropping this in a conversation. It's not even like crazy like implicating news or anything. It's just like they're confirming that he's existed in this universe for some time. And that's super exciting. Yeah. I think that'll go somewhere.
Yeah. And I don't know. I guess I'm still not 100%, but like to me, I'm like, yeah, that's definitely Agatha's son. Like there's almost no doubt in my mind that the teen is Agatha's son.
I could see it. Sure.
But there is a small percentage chance that I'm like, maybe it's Wanda's kid. But I think
it's very could easily be Wiccan, because Wiccan in the comics, he's a magic user, and I think
but here's the thing: where the fuck did he come from? He's not real.
I don't know. But here's the thing: in this episode, though, they like I don't know if you remember that conversation where he's like, I don't remember the full context, but he says I think to the potions witch. And he's like, yeah, a lot of crazy things happened to me 3 years ago too. And which is the time of WandaVision. And you're like, well, that could be a massive hint.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I said, there was a lot of things that were hinted at here where like, because at the same time she says some people say that Agatha wouldn't even recognize her son if she ever got to meet him. Wow. And there's and like she's obviously tormented by this, idea of like, the baby's crying when she's having a hallucination, and then the dark hold appears, and so I don't know. I'm fairly certain we're gonna see Sacha Baron Cohen as Mephisto this
Do you think
season.
he'll be Mephisto? Is that?
I thought that he was confirmed to be,
Is he confirmed to be in the show? Or I haven't heard of a casting news at all.
Well,
that's crazy.
He was cast for it in Ironheart at least.
Was he? I didn't know this.
I'll double check.
No, that's fine. That's fine. But yeah, I mean, besides all of that exciting news about about the teen character and about Mephisto, I thought the story of this episode was really well done. Basically, they go through this trial, this test, this potions test, really, and they're kind of implanted into this beach house, this really wonderful looking, like, high class beach house, it feels like, and they all are kind of tasked to drink this wine that's been poisoned, and the potions witch has to come up with a potion that counteracts the spell that they've been put under, the poison that they've been put under. And I thought the journey that they all go through was really well done. I really enjoyed all the hallucination scenes, getting to learn about like each character. I mean, the fact that it seems like Agatha traded out her son for the Darkhold is like really disturbing. Yeah, I don't know. And yeah, yeah, it really makes you think like, is she good at all? Like, because yeah, you're right. Like you said it last week. You're like, she's pretty mean sometimes, and I'm like, she is, but like you understand that she believes she's better than like everyone else, and I think that's where it's coming from. You know,
and this was the episode that in episode 3, and I know we said we were going to talk about episodes 1 and 2, but regarding episode 3, this was the episode that made me go like get more invested in her as a character, and like she was showing a little bit more compassion, like especially towards the teen. She was like, "No, you're not drinking that," and like I'll drink it, and I think that I love how this whole episode was set up. Like we've been walking on the road. Deborah Jo Rupp's like, "Oh, I'm fucking done with this. Oh, my bag."
Yeah, we got to talk about her.
And you know, all of a sudden, like we're introducing this idea. Like now that we're on this road, I'm like, oh, the idea that they've come up with this as like and the tests that are occurring, it is a bit like the Wizard of Oz, where like these and it's like these magical things appear, and it's like, well, you have to follow them and you have to go through them, and it is like this almost like odyssey that they're going on, and I love that. What I'm hoping for the rest of the season is the same way that we started off the first episode with like this Mayor of Easttown sort of not spoof, but you know, like that they wanted to, like how WandaVision would play on tropes of different eras of television, that we would see different, like that was one of the strong points, is taking these settings and these types of shows and doing something interesting within the confines of it. And then this episode, we got kind of this, like, we've all been poisoned, kind of like murder
mystery right.
thing.
Yeah.
But it's also like set up in the way of like New Jersey housewives, like you know, or like this kind of like rich people.
I didn't even think of it like that, but that's really smart. I think that is going to be a theme that they're going to continue. Like each test is going to be like a different vibe, a different kind of show that they're playing off of. Yeah, I like that a lot.
And I hope they keep with that, because it was really interesting, and it created different conversations to be had. Like I like the conversation that like the teen was having with like the blood witch, and when they were talking about like their moms or whatever. I remember that, like really liking that. I liked. I can't remember. Somebody said something when they were like revealed. Like one witch was like, "I love you guys," but then some other witch said something that was like, "Don't tell her," or "Don't tell him," or something like that. I can't remember. But yeah, it was just the way that they like decided they got certain, like by the way, I know I'm jumping all around, but like
you're fine.
The hallucinations that they were having, and the stuff that was revealed when they were, I guess, like kind of delusional, and they were just saying things that was like on their mind. It was just so smart to like learn about the characters in different ways. And the hallucination, I was kind of worried for you when they were doing the hallucinations, because like genuinely scary. So like those scenes were genuinely scary, I thought.
I don't know. I guess it wasn't the horror aspects that have been in this show so far have not felt anywhere near like where I'm like actually like scared, you know? Like
I wasn't scared, but like I was like, this is intense. Like there was blood and there was there's some really creepy soundtracks.
It was better than the horror I think they tried to put in the second episode, where they had those like the people following, like
I still thought they were kind of spooky.
A little, but like when they started breaking into the house, it just started feeling a little goofy to me. Like when he, like, you know, like the hand reaching through and grabbing the teen, I was like, eh. And then you had like the one where it quickly, like she was kind of like floating standing, and it quickly like went in, and then like the teen was able to just kind of like run away, and you're like, like then one crawled down the stairs all creepy like, and I was like, I don't know. It's not really doing it for me, but I get what they're going for. And I don't know. I don't think it's bad horror. It's just like it's nothing that's gonna like freak me out or anything. So
yeah.
this show is fine for me so far.
I don't know. I really love the way that they built those hallucination sequences. I thought they were like,
for me,
I thought they were really good. I thought they were really good.
And I love the fact that like they played into the fact that like Agatha was delayed behind everyone else. I think that was another really like smart thing to do throughout the episode.
Yeah, and in the way that Deborah Jo Rupp's character just like downed it first, you know, and they were able to like, well, she's dealing with this, we're gonna deal with this, and then you know that it's gonna come later for Agatha. And I think the way that they structured this episode was just, it was really good. It was great. Yeah, you said you wanted to talk about Deborah Jo Rupp's character.
Yes. Okay. So I do love Deborah Jo Rupp. I love this character of Sharon and Mrs. Davis / Mrs. Davis / Mrs. Hart. But like, oh gosh, it really makes you hate Agatha because like for her to bring this woman along, because like I think Agatha knows that this woman's gonna die. Like there's no way like a mortal person, like a normal person could survive this quest down the richest road. And so there's one that I makes you hate Agatha even more. Two, I'm very like I had to buy into like that what is that, the thing of disbelief, like the I don't know, I can't think of the term, but like but you just had to like kind of like buy in that like she was just gonna like whimsily follow what they were doing. Like I don't know, like yes, she's lonely, but like would she really have like stayed around like while they're singing this like weird witch cult song? And like I don't know. It was a little like,
I mean, I think like she's not gonna just leave while they're singing it, and then when they're like we gotta go because there's these fucking things coming after us, like
sure, I don't know. It just felt odd that like there was clearly no party going on and she stayed anyways. I don't know. But yeah, like besides that, like she's been a surprisingly great addition, even though R.I.P. to Mrs. Davis. She did die at the end there.
If she's really dead, I will give props to this show for like doing something pretty. Like I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting.
I think if honestly, she doesn't end up dying, I'll be a little disappointed, to be honest. Because I want some real stakes for the Witch's Road. I want them to show like, hey, you're not always going to make it out alive of these tests. And maybe someone dies in each test. I don't know if that'll be the case, but it feels like they didn't get her the potion in time, and maybe that's why she died. Maybe it's a misdirect, and she'll just be like, oh, I was just choking, no big deal, and then she'll be alive. But no, I like that they're showing that there's stakes, at least at the moment, that there's real consequences. So I'm excited for the next few tests. I'm glad that like she wasn't just this random witch that was also living in Westview. I think that would have been even worse, like for Mrs. Davis. It wasn't. We were talking about the trailer.
We were like, oh, like there's always been these, all these different characters from Westviews have always been witches, which wasn't the case. Like it's not like all these characters from WandaVision, but it still was like they shoehorned in, well, wherever there's a witch, within like 30,
I didn't like that. They were like, they literally was like within any 3 mile radius.
There's another witch.
There's enough witches to form a coven. That's what they said.
And
I'm like, what? A 3 mile radius? That can't be right. That's way too small. Like,
I was like, all right. That suspension of disbelief.
That's what it is.
I'll give you this one thing on top of the fact that there's magic. Like I'm like, all right,
right.
3 mile radius, fine.
Yeah, that's a bit ridiculous. But yeah, I don't know. I've enjoyed a lot of the show so far.
To be fair, I think maybe what I would have preferred instead of a 3 mile radius, because that just seems so arbitrary.
Right.
And so like, and I guess for
So convenient.
it's convenient. Thank you.
Right,
It would
right.
be, it's so convenient. Would be like, well, if they would have built into the history of Westview, like, well, actually, it was a place where witches were persecuted, or like, this is an old town where
And
like
subtly,
witches
like,
have always kind of lived around, and
And
people
maybe
have,
subtly in like the first, like in WandaVision, like both Wanda and Agatha were like drawn to Westview for like reasons they didn't even understand.
sure,
Right. Yeah.
that would be something that I'd be like, okay, yeah. So like, there's this is a witchy kind of area where like it's common because it's baked into the history of witchcraft. I'm like, okay, that would have been fine. But the third,
but the fact that like within every 3 miles there's at least 5 witches, I'm like, yeah, I don't know, dog. That's a lot of witches in the world. Like that's way too many.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But I guess real quick, I really liked the first 2 episodes, not as much as this last one, but I did like the first 2 episodes.
I mean, I enjoyed them too. Yeah, like the first episode of going through like that detective theme of like a detective show, and like her discovering that she's been in this spell, and then like the second episode of like gathering the witches coven. I thought like both were very different, but like good in their own aspects.
Yeah.
I enjoyed both themes.
The main complaint I have is that Agatha is just so unlikable at times.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess
she's growing on me more and more.
I don't mind it because it fits to her character. Like it doesn't feel unnaturally like unpleasant or mean. It just feels like that's what Agatha's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, maybe that doesn't work incredibly well for a leading character. I don't know. Maybe it's a journey she has to go on to like lighten up throughout the show.
Yeah.
And maybe she'll become more likable by the end of the season. But yeah, she clearly doesn't want much more than power and to use people. And yeah. So not like definitely not the most likable character.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
Now, just to talk about Mephisto, I think that was this always the case that we're going to go down this road? I don't know, but there is something rewarding or exciting, at least, about the first Marvel TV show. We all go, Mephisto. Oh my God, it'll be Mephisto. And it wasn't.
Yeah.
And then for every Marvel project after, whether being serious or as a joke, everyone goes, Mephisto? Maybe it's Mephisto.
Yeah, I think they've heard it. They've clearly heard all the talk, and I think they wanted to finally bring it in. Yeah.
Yeah. And I have almost no doubt that we will see Sacha Baron Cohen as Mephisto this season.
That's such an odd choice, don't you think?
I think it's great. I think it's great.
Okay, well, we'll see.
He's a great actor, and I think
I just don't think I ever would have casted him for a devil character.
Oh, I would.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
He plays devilish characters all the time.
Sure. In a sense, yeah.
Like, have you ever seen him in Les Mis? Not that I would call that character necessarily devilish, but like he's the owner of like might have been a whorehouse. Alongside Helen Bonham Carter, and they're kind of seedy and kind of scummy, right. but like I've also seen him in dramatic roles where like he can play. I could see him as like this charismatic, dark, but also like kind of funny devil character who could easily be intimidating, but also like kind of annoying and like and like taunting to somebody, like to Agatha. Like I could see Sacha Baron Cohen and who plays Agatha again?
Catherine
Hahn just having some great chemistry.
Sure, yeah, I could see that. You're selling him for me. I like it. I like it more now. But yeah, I do think he will come in this. Yeah, just like you're saying, he'll come in this season.
Because like a devil doesn't need to be like, like a devil has to make deals.
Sure,
and you can't make deals if nobody
likes
likes you.
Yeah,
if you're not convincing.
That's fair. Yeah, you got to be somewhat charming, but also sadistic, right? Yeah. Well, this show is been surprisingly really good so far. I haven't liked everything. I didn't. I will say I didn't necessarily love how the song went in that episode 2, and I think it's only because it didn't feel super authentic. It felt very auto-tuned in a sense.
Okay, so I wanted to say regarding the song, I was saying to Hannah, I wish that they had sung it in the room live. Right. And maybe it could have built up to like where it's, surrounded by music and it's tuned more and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Because when it started off so produced and like mixed.
Yeah, Catherine Hahn was like incredibly produced at the beginning. I was like, I don't know.
But, I'll take it over Acolyte Witch Song.
Sure, it's not okay. I'm not gonna say the song itself was good either, but it's better. Road. It's definitely better than the Acolyte by a mile.
Hannah said she really liked it.
The song or the Acolyte?
She really liked the song. Which it was catchy. It had catchy parts.
Yeah, and the fact that there's only been one song in like 3 episodes is pretty surprising. So yeah, props for not overindulging us in that. Because I was worried about this being a musical, and it really hasn't been. So
how much do you want to bet we get a Sacha Baron Cohen, because he can't sing, Sacha Baron Cohen song near the penultimate episode where it's a remix of
I think that
Mephisto
could really
all along.
I think that could really piss some people off. I don't know if people want to see Mephisto singing in like his first appearance. But we'll see. Yeah, it could be fun. It could be. I don't know.
It was Mephisto.
I'm not super into the musical aspect of like the witch lore. So if they continue to tone that down as much as they can, that'd be great. But
guys, I would like to.
That's just me.
I'd also like to mention that like you just don't like plays. You don't like musicals.
Well, here's the thing. I have been to plays musicals and I've enjoyed my time there.
But
I don't necessarily want it at a movie or a television show. I don't know if that's like necessarily the best time for me to indulge in like musical performances. I don't know.
I disagree.
Yeah, that's just me though. That's just me. I have liked actual musicals. It's just very rare when I do. So it's just got to be done well. It's got to feel natural. You can't just like be going into like song and dance like whenever you feel like it in a musical. I hate that shit. So did you not
like the Agatha All Along thing from WandaVision?
Yeah, I think I didn't mind it because it was so like one off. You were just like, okay, that's just a quirky thing that like Agatha did. And that's it. Like it's not like a whole production of like this happens and then you wouldn't believe it, but like I as a preteen, I guess I was watching like the first few seasons of Glee, and season 2, I remember watching season 2 and being like, this is good. There's not like singing all the time, and they
sing for singing,
right? No, but
it's for singing.
But they sang at like the appropriate times, right?
Oh,
but like in season 3, like it was like every single scene, like when they weren't in their Glee club, like they were singing everywhere, and you're like, I hate this, and so. That's where it stopped for me, and I think there's a line you have to kind of teeter on for musicals. So,
yeah.
But that's just I know a lot of people like musicals. That's just for me. Yeah. But like I said, so far Agatha's been good, and I'm excited to keep watching.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.